Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Where do we, here or there?
Wherever you're comfortable.
Okay.
Your name is, sir?
My name is Michael. I run an organization called Lawrence Accountability. I'm here tonight to speak to you about a concern I share with your constituents about the public safety here. I'm a little nervous. I haven't met, I don't think, anybody in this room, so I'm usually around some people I know. The overall well-being of a community can be jeopardized by one person, especially when that one person is the one law enforcement officer. I'm going to be, actually, are you the mayor?
I am.
Okay, Mayor Catherine Weems, there's a packet for you. Kevin Burke, there's one for you. Julie Ensminger. Richard Burke.
He's not here.
Is that the number 5 that doesn't vote?
Richard Baker.
Richard Baker, I'm sorry, I've got the name wrong. Linda Miles-Martinez. That leaves you as Tom? Okay, excuse me, sorry. And then I have a couple here for media. Is there any media in the room? Yeah. Okay. You can look through these packets, and as you can see in the documents that I provided, the only police officer that Peabody has right now began his law enforcement career in 2006 in California. From 2006 to 2020, he was primarily an unpaid reserve deputy.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am. Please pause my time.
well, it's inappropriate to talk about personnel during a council meeting.
Ma'am, you've opened a public comment. When you do that, you're opening a designated public forum. And so
Not that
you
has
can't
to do
control the speech that I give. I'm going to go ahead and continue.
You've got 3 minutes.
Thank you. 9 of his 14 years in California, including his last 3 years and 3 months, were as an unpaid deputy. He ended his California career at Newman PD. When contacted, a Newman, California police lieutenant said, "Can you keep him here?" Meaning in Kansas. According to that lieutenant, his quote-unquote certs are done, and he is done. Went on to say that it would take over 1,000 hours of training for him to recertify as a police officer in California. The last time he worked as a paid police officer in California was August of 2017. His certification out there is severely outdated or possibly expired. Next, we find your only police officer working in Nevada in Mineral Springs. I spoke to the Mineral Springs Sheriff, Bill Ferguson. He worked there for about 8 months. Apparently, your only police officer thought it was appropriate for a jailer to have a sexual relationship with an inmate and be suspected of buying illegal drugs. When he was terminated from the Mineral County Sheriff's Office, your only police officer went to work with the Walker River, Nevada Police Department, a tribal agency within Mineral County. While his online profiles indicate he still has that job, your only police officer was terminated from that job in 2021. Sheriff Ferguson had informed Walker River Chief of Police Ramon Sanchez that unless that only police officer was terminated, the county would no longer dispatch for Walker River. November 22, your only police officer was hired by Elk County Sheriff John Walker and given a provisional LEO license in Kansas, based on his California certifications that are severely outdated. They can either go to the academy within 1 year, or they can test for reciprocity. And that's a process through CPOST to be able to certify here based on the California licensing. Once certified in Kansas, law enforcement officers are required to achieve 40 hours of continuing education each year, including range quals. While employed by the Elk County Sheriff's Office, not only did your only police officer not lift a finger to obtain any continuing education credits for that Kansas certification, but he also got himself named in a federal lawsuit that I've included in that packet, some excerpts from that. He lied about his actions, which were caught on video. He's Brady impaired.
Sir, your time is up. Yes, it is.
Does that include the time that you took from me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can continue to review the packet, but your officer should not be here, and he damn sure can't be your chief.
get them for you.
I know you didn't appreciate what I'm saying, but the worst thing you can do is ignore this because you're making it worse for the town if you do. He really can't be a police officer. He can't be a police officer in Kansas at all. The things I heard from his former supervisors are incredible. And you're going to have the same problems here. You spoke of the problems with the children and trying to make sure that they're taken care of. Why do you think you have slashed tires on your cruiser? It's not because they hate the police, it's because they hate their officers. He's glad he knows and he has an attitude issue. He's not done any training since 2016. Please don't ignore it.
Thank you.
Sir, please take a good hard look at those documents I gave you.
Well, I'll look at them, but we don't know who you are. How do we know you're not just pissed off at him?
Well, I understand you may not know who I am, but if you
Well, don't you think we have a right to know who you are?
And my name's Michael Irvey. I'm from Lawrence, Kansas. I run 2 businesses up there.
Okay.
I've lived there for 33 years.
Okay.
I track.
But if he passes the reciprocity test,
He hasn't.
but if he does,
He hasn't.
in the legal amount of time that the state of Kansas requires, then the state of Kansas is assuming that he does have qualifications.
The state of Kansas is assuming a lot.
Well, I understand that.
Sir, when the rest of his records come out, which we do have, it's really not going to look good.
Huh? We'll take a look at it. He's not the chief.
I'm asking you guys to find somebody else to work the streets here.
If we could, we would.
Take one of your local kids that's a good kid and put him through school and teach him how to be a cop. Teach him how to be a good cop.
But you can't get him to stay.
Sure you can. Incentivize it.
Yeah, with how?
Well, you're going to end up paying more to clean up for his mistakes than you would to pay a local kid that everybody can get along with it, that's a respectable kid. Send them to KLETC.
Yeah.
Send them to programs
We've
to get them educated.
Through the years, I've been in this town all my life. Do you know how many people the city of Peabody has paid to send to that academy out there?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't
Shit
doubt
ton.
it. I totally understand. But here's another option. If you want another outside opinion, give a call to Sheriff Eric Kirsch up in Wabunsee County and just talk to him a little bit. He's somebody that is really setting a new standard in Kansas on how to conduct business as a law enforcement officer. Get some advice from people before you guys settle for right now, because this is a situation that can only get worse. Thank you for your time.
Yep. No problem.
So far, Finn's in there talking to him.
Yeah?
Yeah. He was telling Finn he resigned. All those were lies.
So
We just got the security footage sent to us of that traffic stop.
all right.
And we didn't see any kids disrupting. They all seem to remain on the sidewalk. At least. At 5, 8 of them outside, I would say. So I was just wondering what you guys thought of that. Like, it seems like there is a disparity.
Well, let's put it this
what
way.
each side said.
Here's my point of view. Okay. I have a couple of citizens that tell me that we have kids that are disrupting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I make a phone call and I say, I'd just like to have a conversation. And that turned into, she's lying or he's lying.
Yeah.
All I asked for was a conversation. We could have sat down, we could have had that conversation, we could have shared notes, and we could have figured out what did or didn't happen. So it's not the incident itself. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And nobody's saying what it was or how many, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was 2, you know?
But backup wouldn't have been called if it was 2.
You know what? I don't think that's your. I'm a citizen here. I'm going to just tell you flat out. If an officer asks for backup, he asks for backup.
Okay.
Ease up a little. Ease up a little.
Seriously.
Ease up a little.
Seriously, if an officer asks for backup, he's been hired to protect the citizens, myself, in this town. So that is that.
It's not for anybody else to judge. You know, it's not for anybody
Well,
else to judge.
it's a public service. It's the public's right to judge.
But the point was not that. It was the number. Everybody was focused on the number and focused on saying he's a liar or she's a liar.
But if someone
When-
said it was 20 to 30, then that person's not being truthful.
Okay, but that wasn't me.
Okay.
I can take complaints from people and all I can do is investigate that.
Okay.
But I told Joe over and over again, I did not get this from him. I haven't even spoken to him.
So where did you get that number from?
I told you, from a citizen.
So citizens said 20 to 30 and you relayed that.
I had 2 citizens approach me.
Did they also say that that the kids were swarming with a mob mentality?
He said nothing. About
No, I'm asking the citizens that reported this to you.
Yes.
Was it also their words that the kids were swarming him with a mob
I
mentality?
don't know about swarming, no.
Okay, that's the quote that we got.
Well, yeah, but the quote was not necessarily accurate.
Yo. Thanks, Eric.
You bet, bud.
Anything else I can do for you before you go, sir? We're closing up for the night.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Mr. D. It's almost bedtime.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy.
I'll see
Thanks,
you
Sarah.
tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
He's not an employee of the city, correct?
No, sir.
Just a citizen. Okay. I want to be the last one out, thanks.
No, I'll be the last one.
Okay, but I'll be the last citizen.
He is my husband. He's gonna escort me home.
I'll be the last citizen out.
You are the last citizen.
Okay. He is a citizen.
Can you please exit?
Ma'am, you know, you're trying so hard to shut me down and shut me out of here
No, I'm
that
not. I let
I'm
you
going to
speak.
be the last citizen to leave. So it's just that. If you choose to escalate it into something, we can have another lawsuit. But you've chosen to try to shut me down and try to get me to leave so quick and try to, do all that I'm going to be the last citizen to
Trying
leave.
Close up for the night.
Okay, I'm going to be the last citizen to leave. That's all.
Come on, outside. They can lock the door. I'm not gonna ask again.
You don't need to ask twice. I'm just going to be the last citizen out the door.
Literally says that. Right. Yeah, I mean,
Is that Heather again? She's back.
she is.
I bet Watts is going to have her give him a ride down to his house. Going to get a ride down to your house there, Eric. Yeah? I'm going to take your fucking badge. Do you realize that? You're not going to be a cop anymore when I'm done with you, man. You will not be a cop again anymore, anywhere, when I'm done with you. You will not be a cop. Tell your wife, if she tries to hang on to him, I'll take this town down with him. I'm taking his badge. You guys can either help or be in the way.